freedom. Okay, means they wanted to understand various forms of domination, understand various forms of domination, they wanted to understand the various forms of domination and how to get rid of domination, how to get rid of domination and to establish and to gain freedom. So how to get rid of the various forms of domination and to attain freedom. Okay, so critical school is about ending the slavery or domination and to provide freedom to the people. Okay, now the question is, why do we call them as critical school? Why we use this term critical school, or what does we mean by critical school? Fine. So basically, when we say they are of critical school, the issue is they are critical of what? You have to understand. So they are critical of what? Fine. So basically, Frankfurt neo-Marxists, their concern is freedom, also known as a Frankfurt School, and or the critical school. So the question is, they are critical of what? So first thing is, they are critical of orthodox Marxists. Especially the Soviet Marxists. So they were critical of what? So they were critical of the orthodox Marxists, that is the Soviet Marxists. Fine. Why? Because in former USSR, people like far from establishing communism, which was the ultimate aim of Marx, what got established in former USSR, what got established was an extremely totalitarian state. What got established was an extremely totalitarian state. So unlike the vision of Marx, where Marx wanted de-alienation and absolute freedom, in USSR established totalitarianism. So they are critical of the orthodox Marxists. Fine, because in USSR totalitarian state was established and there was no freedom. Second, the orthodox, right, next second point, the orthodox Marxists projected as if revolution is the core idea of Marxism. Means revolution as an end in itself. What Marx wanted, revolution. And since they have brought the revolution, their job is over. Fine. They ignored that Marx aimed at liberation, freedom, de-alienation. So communist revolution could have been a means to achieve those ends, not the ends of Marx itself. So first of all, they are called as critical Marxists because they are critical of what was happening in USSR and projecting as if Marx only wanted revolution. So, critical school is called as critical because I have told you that it is critical of the orthodox Marxism. Orthodox Marxism means it is critical of political Marxism. Why? Because in USSR, revolution took place. But after revolution, there was no movement towards communism. Fine? There was no movement towards communism. Now, communism for Marx was a state of absolute equality. Now, absolute equality results into absolute freedom. Absolute equality results into absolute freedom. Fine? Means, what is freedom for Marx? The freedom is de-alienation. You are free to do what you want. You are free to create what you want. So, for the scholars of critical school, what is the objective? The objective is freedom. So critical school scholars, they criticized orthodox Marxists when they suggested that the Marx aim was not revolution. Revolution was not an end in itself कि भैया रेवोल्यूशन कर दी तो कार्ल मार्क्स का सारा सपना पूरा कर दिया. तो यूएसएसआर में रेवोल्यूशन तो हुई, लेकिन रेवोल्यूशन के बाद ऐसा कुछ नहीं हुआ जो मार्क्स चाहता था. तो अकॉर्डिंग टू देम, मार्क्स एम वाज नॉट रेवोल्यूशन बट emancipation. Marx's aim was emancipation. So I hope you have understood why they are called critical. This is the first reason. Okay. Now, B, second reason. The second reason is they are critical of even Western liberal democracies. So as I told you, from Germany, they have shifted to US because in Germany, due to Hitler, a totalitarian system was established, and America and US, UK were known as the worlds of freedom. But when they landed in USA, again they realized that even in Western liberal democracies, people are not free. People in USA are free is just a false consciousness. Fine. So they are critical of Western liberal democracies. So why critical of Western liberal democracies? Because even in these societies, people are not free. Even in these societies, people are not free. Fine. So that is Statue of Liberty giving you the illusion of freedom. There is no freedom even in these countries. So even in these societies, people are not free. Rather, they are under multiple types of domination. So far from being free, the people here are under new forms of domination. Capitalism has invented many forms of domination. So even people are not free in these societies. Okay? So even in the Western liberal democracies, freedom is not possible. Is not possible, and people are under various forms of repression or dominance. Various forms of repression and dominance. And since there was no hope of freedom in the totalitarian societies like Germany or former USSR, these scholars, they have focused on emancipation in the Western liberal democracies. Fine. So first thing is totalitarian societies. there was no scope for people having freedom, but they found that maybe something can be done to give freedom to the people in Western democracies. So their focus will be on the Western liberal democracies. Fine. So I'll come back to this point. Now, the third issue is critical school is critical of science, or in social sciences, for science and scientific method, we use the word positivism. Fine. So they are also critical of science. Fine. Because they believed that science kills rationality. So critical school scholars are even critical of science because they believe that science kills rationality. Science makes people irrational. Okay? So many of you will not agree with me, and rather you will say, no, science makes us rational, but the reality is science kills rationality. Just because of science, humanity is not behaving. Humans don't behave like humans. They behave like animals. What is a characteristic of animals? The characteristic of animals is that they focus on the satisfaction of their appetite. And animals do not understand. If animal is hungry, if lion is hungry, he will kill the other animal. He will not think that whether it is right to kill the other animal or wrong. So science also reduces us to the level of animals. The worst thing the science has done is removing the importance of values in our life. The worst thing science has done is removing the importance of the values in our life. Okay? Means for science, what they cannot see, what cannot be seen is not acceptable. So values cannot be seen. So science rejects. And when you reject values, because the values make the difference between humans and animals. So when you reject the values, you are reduced to the level of animals. Okay. So for example, the nuclear weapon or the weapons of mass destruction, they are the products of science. So they are critical of science because science kills rationality. Okay? Now, how science kills rationality? Fine. So first thing is science undermines the importance of values in our lives. So science has ended the importance of values. Fine. So the question is how science undermines importance of values. How science undermines the importance of values from our life. Because science recognizes only facts. Science recognizes only facts or only material facts. Fine. So science undermines the importance of values, and science recognizes only the importance of facts. So values cannot be seen, and what you do not see, you don't believe it. Fine. So science does not accept anything